What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? To me, I'm not starting the stream with a poem because I couldn't choose a poem to start this stream with. Uh, and that's okay. They don't all have to start with poems. All streams do start with streams. Do they? Do we is our beginning us? Are we our be we start with ourselves, right? I don't know. So streams start with streams. I'm not sure. I'm saying words. Um, I'm very much in a word association kind of headspace, because I've spent cumulatively 1 hour today sitting in front of my microphone, recording myself, just like freely speaking, word association, anything, you know. Sort of lapsing into improvised poetry, sort of lapsing into like stimming and singing. Um, a really kind of beautiful and pleasant thing to do. Um, Something that I might try doing live sometime. Not today, I think, maybe, but just to sort of like, I don't know, illustrate that. I think people think it's funny too. Um, One of my friends once showed me like a TikTok of someone sitting and word associating. Um, and she was kind of like laughing at the TikTok, and I'm like, that's actually dope as fuck. I love word association and just or free association or whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, that stuff rips. I think it's super cool. And and it's very close to like improvising poetry, right? Except improvised poetry has like a slightly higher degree of filter, um, which is difficult, right? To balance the amount of filter, because if you go fully unfiltered, I start making noises, right? I'm just like ba 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 ba, like literally making sounds, and that's not like poetic, but I've done improvised poetry on stage, and it has a similar feeling, right? It's just about like dialing the filter to the right setting. And stream is strange because like arguably I would like probably think about I'd have to at least think about slightly filtering the word association to not be like because sometimes the mind goes to explicit places, right? I mean, stream is fine usually for like explicit conversation, I guess. I don't know. Hello, Nikki. Dang, you are on hella early. I am merely on. I'm merely on. What is early? What is late? Um, you know, uh, is these things are non-specific. Right? I mean, I say it's sort of an evening stream, and it's not evening, but this stream also isn't like scheduled or on the calendar, which means it's not really an evening stream. It's just the Thursday stream. But I woke up early today. I woke up early at the crack of dawn, 6 a.m. It was, yeah, I don't think the sun was up yet. I'm not sure. Uh, I woke up at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. I'm so proud of myself for that. And that, and then I went rock climbing, but an indoor gym, not outside, because I don't have people to go with to climb on actual rocks. Um, and I crushed their entire new set of slab climbs, and that's annoying because now there's no more hard slabs to do. Um, but I did that. I did that. And then I like got home and I was done climbing by 8:30. I'm like, I have all this time. I honestly didn't know what to do with myself today. I was confused, I don't wake up that early often, but I love the morning. I find the morning extremely like productive, right? The sun is coming up and I'm like, okay, it's like time to begin, time to create, time to sprout from my pathetic little husk of a life into something more beautiful. And um So maybe it feels like evening because I've been awake for now however many hours, 6 to I don't know, 9 hours. And if I woke up at 11 a.m., then like 9 hours would be like 8 p.m. and I'd stream, you know. But yeah, I've been trying to fix my sleep by waking up earlier because I love the morning, and if I love the morning, I should try to exist within it more often, right? Good morning. Well, it's not the morning now. I mean, I guess if we call, like, I don't know, good morning on my Thursday evening stream, maybe maybe it is morning. Maybe it can be. Maybe it doesn't matter. It's morning somewhere, right? The sun is always creeping over the horizon. That's sort of beautiful as an image to zoom back and have the narrative camera occupy the point, moving back where the sun is constantly in a state of rising. You know, that's kind of neat, right? I mean, I love the sunrise. The sunrise is the number one moment in the day. Always. Sunrise best. No questions, no arguments are accepted, no alternatives are allowed. It's sunrise is the best. And that's why I like the mornings, but I feel like I haven't woken up early enough to be present during that time in quite a while. So we're trying to make that change. And that also means not streaming super late, because if I started a stream at 8 p.m., it would be pretty tricky to be wanting to wake up at 6 a.m. after like a 3-hour stream and then trying to wind down and get to sleep and whatever. So that's why my evening stream is 3:48 p.m. Because this will, go for a few hours or whatever, right? And I don't know what I'm doing, but I wanted to stream. I will argue an addendum. Sunrise is the best time to be, but no, sunrises are prettier than sunsets. They emerge into the light of the day, and that is so much more beautiful than slipping and fading away from you into darkness, and like the slow glow of morning before sunrise, as the sky is like going from dark to beginning to be light, and then it starts to get like kind of pink, and then the sun just tips over the horizon, and beautiful, best thing ever. That's the shit. Slipping into darkness is where light plays the most. That's quite poetic. But I think, I don't know, the emergence is my thing. I'm definitely an emergence kind of person. Emergence. I like the moment. I like yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. Like the whole system is of course beautiful. The sunrise, the emergence, the sunset, the losing, the relinquishing, the whatever, but for me it's sunrise all day. Well, not all day. Can't be sunrise all day. Hi Ray. Hello. Welcome. So I stream says, what does stream say? Writing or collage or spoken word? I don't know. I look hard as fuck. Thank you. Yeah, I got my cut t-shirt. Is that a headbanging gif or emoji? That's super dope. Yeah. I this used to be a shitty, boring, plain t-shirt. I mean, not plain, right? It has the band on it, but like, and then I like cut the arms and I cut it shorter, and now it like looks like something that actually looks like decent to wear. I like looking decent to wear. Yeah. So, I have a notebook which I'm writing something, and I don't really want to just sit and write, but I would definitely be yapping because it's not some kind of co-working stream or something. But I also could collage, which collaging is dope. I could also sit and, as we were mentioning earlier, word associate and improvise poetry and sort of emerge into spoken word, something like that. It depends on if I feel up for it. I started playing Disco Elysium, and this isn't necessarily me surveying chat for what to do. It's just me letting y'all know of what is potentially to come as I continue to yap and talk, and we'll get there. I started playing Disco Elysium. I died once already. I died to the light on the ceiling on my very first time playing Disco. I made like a custom stat array where I dumped physical instrument, right? And then I turned on the light, lost my 1 health, and died. And I'm like, I love this game. Disco Elysium is incredible, though. And then I just died from a loss of morale for being insulted by the libertarian lady. No, the liberal lady. You tried escaping from paying your bill. That'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, Disco. What a splendid masterpiece of a game so far. I'm really enjoying it. I vote for typewriter ASMR so I can sleep nice and fast. Do I want to clunk away on the typewriter? Right, because I have these sort of poetic ideas, and that's, the filling the space, which is where the typewriter ASMR comes from. Do I want to do that? Not really. Not really. Not right now, I think. The typewriter is loud, right? I mean, that's the point of the ASMR. Go donk, 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 click, 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 shoot, right? It's sort of beautiful. Maybe I can do collage and I can do some typewriter and then cut it out and collage that into the poem. And then the collage can just be like the visuals. And maybe I can grab a poem of mine or write something new. I'm not sure. Maybe write a poem together. I watched a sunset 3 nights ago, and it was slipping into that gorgeous radioactive orange that sunrises somehow managed to sidestep. And I was walking the last dog at work. Do you walk dogs for work? Or do you work at an animal facility? At a shelter? At a pet store? Those are the only cases where I'd imagine you'd be walking dogs at work. You work at an animal shelter? Okay, dude, you're a goat. You're super cool and awesome. At least, you work at an animal shelter. That's cool. That's what I mean. We rounded 2 left corners and around the clinic. I could have read on and gotten context clues that there's a clinic. And with the sunset at our backs and an irregular scud of stratus clouds crossing back below the tree line, I saw an entire sky filled with no blue at all. It was a magenta sky. I've never seen anything like it before or since. That's gorgeous. That does sound quite powerful. What great words in there. What did you say? An irregular scud of stratus clouds. Yeah, a radioactive orange that sunrises somehow managed to sidestep. Yeah, pop off, king. Okay, I keep thinking that I want to get more magazines for the collage because I get bored of my magazines and cutting those up. But maybe we can start with the typewriter, and I can write a poem, right? And then we can collage the poem, maybe, if I have some poem in me, which I may or may not, and that's just sort of the risk we have to take. I could also do a poem of mine that already exists, and that I could do a collage of it. I want popularity, buy viewers. I do want to buy viewers. I want to buy so many viewers, because really what I care about is not people engaging in chat and learning about poetry. What I care about is seeing the number be higher. Even if I know that the number of viewers is a lie because I've bought them for myself and there's in fact no one watching, and they're just bot accounts programmed to pump the numbers up. Yes, I would love to buy so many fucking viewers. I want to be drowning. I want to be choking on the number of bot viewers I have, actually. I want to be in a quicksand of bot viewers. An entire swamp, a bog. I want nothing but bots in my life. I want to be surrounded by... Yeah, it's funny that didn't even pop up in chat. The message was like restricted by the auto mod. So you don't even see it. That's really funny. Okay, wait. Oh, I can do my maybe I'll do my therapy poem. When to stop talking. That could be a fun poem to do in a collage. Oh, and it has music, so I can use a music score. Okay, we're gonna whip out the typewriter, y'all. Some of y'all have not witnessed its glory. Oh god, I hate this thing. It's so big and heavy. It's so big and heavy. But here is my baby. And a piece of paper. I don't know how high I can get this. I haven't figured out the good, like, typewriter stream angle or whatever. That looks pretty good, though. You can actually, like, we had it kind of zoomed up before on, like, the type line, so you could see as I was going. Which maybe is a better typewriter angle. I'm really not sure. But I have to plug this in. It is an electric typewriter, so it makes sounds. Very, very loud. But that's why people seem to like it, because it provides nice ASMR. Does anyone know off the top of the head what what like the acronym ASMR is? I know it stands for something. I just forgot. And I'm like randomly curious, and maybe between like the I don't know, 4 of you hanging out, someone knows. Should I just set a... Oh wait, you can... No. Wait. I can just set the margin by pushing this guy to where the end of the paper is. I'm learning things about my typewriter. Wait, which one's the margin? Is this the margin? Is that the margin? What does this guy do? Wait, hold on. Is that the margin? No, that's the return margin. Oh, okay. I don't know what this guy does. Maybe it just guides the paper? I don't know. I don't know what this little lever slider does. Anyway, so that's where I put the end of the paper, and then I can measure out 1/2 inch margin from it. Dude, that's so clever. I love these things. Sorry, I'm like learning about my typewriter. Y'all can't even see what I'm doing. That's quite funny. Typewriter. Yeah. Typewriter as fuck. All tucked in and ready to sleep. I should get my headphones so my girlfriend doesn't wake up. Yeah, from the very loud. I think that's peaking the mic. I think I'm gonna try to move it here. I think that's maybe could be quieter, but that is the typewriter. And we will go a few lines down. I could just like speak up close here, so you can hear me over it. I'm not sure how loud it is. I didn't rewatch the last typewriter stream. The game I love to talk about, Unbeatable, has an entire song built off the full sample of a 1950s Smith Corona typing tutorial record, and this is a Smith Corona typewriter. Isn't that amazing? I don't know when this one is from, but this is in fact a Smith Corona typewriter. Maybe that's why you said that. I'm really interested in Unbeatable. I think if at some point I get a PC, I will definitely be playing that game. Okay, but let's type this poem, When to Stop Talking, and then we can turn it into a collage. Can we margin it up? Bigger margins, smaller margins? 1.5 margins. Spacing. I'm not going to be looking at chat until the end of this stanza. After 75 Fridays. You will find yourself out of words. Share plans. Oh, there's supposed to be a period there? Dude, I hate this. Period. You'll share your plans. You'll talk about values and your new favorite band, and nothing will matter. Well, forgot a comma. That's fine. I have a different idea. I might edit this poem significantly, because these lines are long. As y'all can see, these are some pretty long lines. I think what I should do is I think that it looks better. Well, maybe I can come out here and try to like position this like so. Is that a better angle? I'm definitely trying to figure this out. I think that's high-key a better typewritering angle. It's unfortunate that you can't get the full... Well, I'll go further back. That kind of works. Okay, so my thought is to take this poem and then split it up in such a way that it can be made into a mini zine like this one, which is a full collage mini zine of poetry that I made once. But that would mean that these lines have to fit within basically a like, what is this, like 3 inches, 2.5 inch, a 2.5 inch space, because then I'd have to cut them out to put them into the zine. And then I could do another little collage poetry mini zine, which I've been like wanting to do for quite a long time. Question then being if this poem is like entirely too long for that, or if this isn't suited for that. I could also, I could kind of do it this way, and it could flip up, and it could be like a vertical mini zine. That could be super cool. So then it's a book that goes like this way. Because I've been wanting to make one of these for a while. Another one. Which I think that's the longest line. New favorite band and nothing will matter. Which does just barely fit, I think, within the mini zine format. Yeah. And if it's too big, then I can cut it. Okay. This is the plan. Okay, so I can just keep typing this as normal. That's good. We're going back to typewriter. Cat or dog person, dog person. Typewriter is going back on. Nothing will matter. Nor in the one. Oh, typo. Okay, I have to read that stanza. Tragic. Tragic. Okay, I have a question. I have a question for the poetically minded in my chat. I have 3 dogs. Question for the poetically minded. I have this line in this poem, which maybe we can like zoom in on somehow. Okay, we're zooming in. Okay. After 75 Fridays at noon, you found yourself, punctuation mark, out of words, right? And this is as contrast to earlier, right? After 75 Fridays at noon, you will find yourself out of words. And this is, you know, a double meaning spelled out. You'll find yourself out of words without any words to say. And then the second one, you found yourself out of words, right, by using words, because this is a poem about therapy. So my question for y'all is whether you think this punctuation mark should be a comma, a semicolon, or a colon, right? A colon, you found yourself, colon, out of words. You found yourself, semicolon, out of words. I think semicolon is the right one to suggest, you know, you found yourself and you did so by using words. as opposed to not having any words, or at least to most imply that reading of it. But the comma might work too, and the colon, I think there's like a sort of reasonable, a not unreasonable argument for it. I'm not sure. You would use an M dash, but you're a weirdo. M dashes aren't weird. I don't know if I can type an M dash. I guess if I do 2 colons, or no, 2 I can do 2 hyphens. I can do an underscore. I cannot type an M dash on this. M dash is off the table. I have... Yeah, those are my options. Unless we're trying to use a slash. Parentheses, I think, more imply the other reading as calling back to the earlier. It's kind of cool, but it's not correct. I think I'm going to keep the semicolon. I think. Semicolon. Related line, and it's up to the reader to decide whether it's out of words or refer to the state you're in the method by which you found yourself, or if out of words is literally yourself. Oh, you found yourself out of words. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And for reference, the original one is a no punctuation mark. You found yourself out of words, as to do the normal. Maybe an ellipsis, since it shows a trailing thought. You found yourself ... out of words. I feel like I like this. So like the semicolon grammatically implies relatedness, right? And that's a useful thing about it. I feel like using the ellipsis would be a bit like using the parentheses, where it's like this quieter, addendum to the line. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a semicolon. And actually, so when I originally wrote this, I had it as a comma, and I don't think I like the comma. I'm probably too poetically minded for this question. Well, no, I think, like the ... right, it implies something interesting because it gives this, like you said, a trailing. And when we're like, but I think the trailing of thought is like the being out of words, right? Like you'd sort of stumble and run out of language in an ellipsis. But that's the meaning that we're looking for up here, right? You'll find yourself out of words, right? Words are out. It's almost like I could use an ellipsis on this one. You found yourself out of words all the way through ellipsis ... You'll share your plans, right? It gives that trailing, you're out of words, you pause for a minute, you get 3 periods, right? Or Leitwerseele if you're one of the German poets in the 18th century. That's our stream vocabulary word. I am going to bring in the ... because I love the feeling of it. But I love the feeling of it up here. Totally. Camera is a whole vertigo mess for you all watching, I'm sure. But we're gonna go back to zoomed out mode here. Maximally zoomed out. Okay. Yeah, the ... dot's great in the first one. Yeah, it sets the stage, right? And then we have the contrast of like interesting punctuation at the end of the line versus interesting punctuation at the beginning of the line, which is overall interesting, right? Yeah. Okay. Dot. And then down here, I'm gonna put this semicolon in the wrong place. right there. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. How does this poem go? Out of words. I typed a slash instead of a period. I have to redo the stanza again. Sad. I don't have like whiteout. I feel like I would also rather have the thing be like proper, you know. No, my typewriter does not have backspace tape. My typewriter is not that special. But I think either way, I would want, since I'm like putting this probably on like a piece of art, right? I want it to be correct. Not sure why I did the finger quotes on piece of art. It's a piece of art. It sounds like you know about typewriters, do. I have a question. I have this like dial on the left side of the keyboard down here, and it says copy set, and it goes through different numbers from 1 to 10. And I don't know what it does. Do you know what copy set is? And I'll leave that with you. Maybe I can look it up if you don't. Determines how much force the arms use. Like how many sheets of carbon to adjust how hard it hits. What's a sheet of carbon? Is that where carbon copy comes from? Is that like at the post office when you're sending an international package and they like you write on top of the thing and then it goes through to the papers behind it and like creates copies? Like there's like it's like pressure. So I should be on copy set 1 unless I want to really be bashing this paper into oblivion. Would that change how the text looks? Or is that strictly like, would it look darker? Wait, hold on. We're going to 1. We're going to 1 copy. It's like a little bit lighter. It's like a little bit lighter when it isn't hitting as hard, which makes sense because that's like a typewriter. So if I go to 10, we get like super aggressive, dark. Hold on, I'm trying this again. Okay, you can definitely hear it. You can definitely hear it, like the typewriter is much like snappier, right? On the 10, it's like thwap 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 thwap, right? And on the one, it's more of like a ba 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 ba, which means I should be on one for the sake of not trying to overpower the microphone. But also probably imagine in terms of like wear and tear on the machine, right? Doing a one would be probably overall better if I don't need to be doing. How do I get carbon? How do I get carbon sheets? Can I buy these on the... I guess I can probably buy them. I feel like there's got to be some... and I bet they get kind of like... maybe like less dark as you go back into the carbon copy. And I feel like there could be some really interesting things to do. Carbon paper. Okay, carbon paper. Isn't it like kind of easy, like simultaneous copies? Especially like I've seen that would, holy shit, that would be a sick ass collage. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Yeah. You could do so many things with it. Even if you were just like doing hand things. Doing hand things. Yeah, doing hand things. Do they have it in different... They have it in different colors? I wonder, do they have transparent? Some of it is transparent, I think. Literally punch out words down to a certain sheet. Apparently Staples carries it. Yeah. Oh, my mom went to the office store like today. Well, I can ask her next time. She loves buying art supplies, so she might get it for me. I might just have to buy it myself, though. Some of it's like black, clear. What color is it? It doesn't look like paper. How does it... It's nice for drawing. Guys, this is crazy. And I learned where carbon copy comes from. You cut out parts below the top showing paper and put it on a light box so certain parts... You could cut out parts below the... It transfers the ink. How does that work? You could cut out parts below the top. Oh, wait. So I don't understand how the carbon sheet works. It's basically a sheet of ink. So do you go like page, carbon, page, carbon, page? Or do you only need like one carbon? Or you need as many carbons as you like alternate? So then this carbon puts stuff onto the next page. Oh, so you can then carbon onto any color of paper. So what I'm thinking, right? Tissue paper, right? And I mean, tissue paper would be tricky with a typewriter because it eats paper sometimes. But then you could have carbons of transparent paper and you could like offset them. You wouldn't necessarily need carbons. You could just do them each manually, right? But it would be faster, right? I mean, anytime I was doing something like this, right, I could just make a bunch of carbons so it's faster, right? It's convenient. And then I could have like offsets and shadows and then what you said, having like something that when viewed under light like reveals new text would be super cool, right? It would be crazy to fold that into something like a little book and it's like it has instructions like hold up your phone to this and it like has double poems where the spaces get filled in by more poem. And then you would make the zine maybe by taking 2 zines, right, and stacking them on top of each other, and then folding them, right, and then one would be entirely internal, because the zine is always on one side, right, and then you could just like tape the sheets together, and then do the zine fold. Oh, you'd have to get like so the zine has a certain pattern, right, where you have page 1, page 2, page, right, that's the order, or whatever. So then you'd have to go in with the pages, and go into the typewriter and like put it here and be like, I'm gonna type on this, I'm gonna type on this, which means I should probably make some kind of paper like zine template that kind of shows me where these things are. Okay, this would be super cool. I'd also have to write the poem. That would have to be like a very intentionally written poem to do that whole light. Would you get the issue? One issue with that is every page on the zine has the next page behind it, but maybe through, I don't know if the light would come through. I guess I have a phone here that can do that. I have a phone. This is like a non-connected phone that I use sometimes to take pictures, because I usually use a flip phone for phone things. Okay, well, that's a whole cool idea, right? That we have to like table, because I can't do that. I mean, I could do that. I could try to do the whole going through the zine. We would just have to put the typewriter away for a while and figure it out. Maybe I kind of want to do it now. Okay, I think we're gonna do zine experiments instead of what I was doing here. We're gonna let ourselves get derailed because this is cool. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have 2 zines, or we're gonna make one zine out of 2 zines, 2 papers. And then the used carbon paper has the reverse shadow on it, which is cool. Oh, so it's like is carbon paper then like a single use kind of affair? But yeah, you could use the reverse shadow somehow. I guess you'd have to be careful with that. If it's, does carbon paper like weirdly bleed onto things if it's ink? I almost tripped. I almost tripped and killed my typewriter. Okay. Friends. My fellow Americans. Do we like, I think it should be vertical, right? Without showing my thighs. My beautiful thighs. Not for stream though. Is that straight? Okay. So if we have 2 things, right? We can make 2 zines, basically. I think we have to be like very perfect about the folding. And maybe I should just fold them together, but maybe that would make it worse. I'm not exactly sure how well this will go. This would be the dopest, sickest zine ever. And my zine friend Ellie would think I was so cool and awesome for the rest of time after I show her this. If it turns out as it should. Okay. Beautiful, perfect center fold. How do zines work? I fold this again. I feel like that's not a perfect fold. That's okay. some crispy edges here. Okay. We are making zines. So basically the stream is called Writing or Collage or Spoken Word, and we're doing none of those things. Sort of writing, right? But okay, so basically this is the way you do a mini zine for those who are not enlightened. I think mini zines are the best form of zine. Partially because you can just scan them and then make photocopies off a single page, which is super cool. But also because they fit in your pocket. And you can like open up your jacket and be like, hey kid, wanna buy a zine, you know? And it's like super cool. Okay, so you take it, you fold it, right? And then you go this way and you cut the zine down the middle, but only like for one page, only until the next little intersection. And then you take the zine, you fold it down, it eats itself, and then you have a book, an actual factual book. And it kind of helps to fold it more and make it nice. And usually they don't line up, which is troubling, right? Mini zines are hard to get like perfect. And I feel like this would be like the big issue with making this zine, is we're trying to line up two things that usually are pretty not perfect, like one on top of the other. And if it doesn't work, then we can try it again by folding them right on top of each other so they like hypothetically match. But I like have a sneaking suspicion that that will work worse, because then like they might like mess each other up. Whoa, that's a used piece of carbon paper. That's super nifty. I feel like that's dope. The funny thing is you wouldn't actually want to use carbon paper for this thing that we're doing. It's more just the idea of inspired by stacking pages on top of each other. Because with the carbon paper, you would end up with the same thing. But the idea is we're doing a poem that shines through differently, right? Different things front and behind. Which means this has nothing to do with the carbon paper. So we could actually do this whole thing today and maybe it would work. I think. Right? If this works. That being said, the carbon copy paper, I think will still be super cool and useful for something. And I do want to try a carbon copy zine collage sometime. Although like I feel like the carbon is better for maybe like hand stuff. It's the second time I've said hand stuff this stream. Handwriting and like things where like a typewriter is already creates carbon copies by being a typewriter. And I feel like I guess you would use the copy paper, the carbon paper, if you're like writing a whole ass long thing and want to end up with two copies. But in the case of poems, it might not be needed. But the carbon paper on tissue, well, I don't know. It was made to save time, yeah. And if I'm working on a big project, the carbon paper could be nice on tissue because then you can feed multiple pieces of tissue into the typewriter at the same time. And I feel like just feeding one in on its own might be like too delicate and it might rip. And multiple might just make that process like more pleasant for everyone. Okay, So, can we stack two zines on top of each other, fold them properly, to then create a doubled up zine, and then have that zine, these need to be better folded, or, yeah, these need to be more happy. Because then we can have different things on the top and bottom. And then we can shine a light through them to get different stuff. This could be super sick and awesome. This could be... Okay. That is a double mini zine. Roughly. Yeah, it works, right? Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, back page, right? 8 pages total. So that works. Now the other question, the other extremely important question, which we're going to test with a pen, a ballpoint. My new ballpoint that my neighbor gave me. This is the best ballpoint I've ever written with. It's a Monami 153 stick. It is like a smooth ballpoint. I've never enjoyed writing with a ballpoint before, and then my neighbor gave me this pen, and it's incredible. So, the potential issue is that if we have writing on this side, right? Writing on this side, and we have writing on this side, and we have writing on wherever it is, this inside side, inside front side, and then if we have writing on the inside back side, and we shine a light through it, right, we might end up seeing like all of the stuff and the mirrors of the backside, which we wouldn't want to see, and that would be bad, right? So I guess we'll just do, you know, it's funny, I can't think of something just like random to write. We'll do nice and dark hello, right? And then underneath we would write like world, right? Is the idea. So that when we shine the light through, we can see that it says hello world, right? And then, but the question is how much shines through when we shine a light. Because if we see this stuff as well, then we kind of suck. We kind of failed. Like it won't work well. So we'll do another hello world over here, right? Phone light. This is the test. This is the glorious, beautiful test where maybe this works. Gonna blind. Whoa, look at that. Look at that light halo. That's super dope and cool. I think... Oh, wait. We would want to go just through the page. You can see it, right? You do get the text coming through. And you only sort of get the ones back there. You could also have the zine instruct the reader to slide the phone in between, right? Like so. And then you could sort of kind of read it. You could tape the edges to keep these things like closer to each other. Because one issue here is probably that if the pages are spread, you're never going to see anything. But when the pages are close, this is all very hard to see on the stream. But it's very ghostly. It's very ethereal. It'd be cool to like do this in a piece about memories, you know, and you're like looking into the past or something, right? And seeing these words come through from, you know, like something about ghosts. It doesn't even have to be a poem, right? It could just be like a story, a very small story. So you do see the inverse, but at least you know that it's inverse. And you're like, okay, well, that's obviously not what I'm looking at, right? But it does work. It can even just be a picture. Yeah, I mean, it can be a picture, but then I would have to maybe draw the picture. So the question, I think I want to see if this is on top. Let me draw another world. I want to see if the overlap becomes too unpleasant on the eye. If these things like, let's see. Okay. So, as you can see, I scribbled. And I think the world is still legible here. And still legible enough, even with the scribbles on the page on the other side, that it kind of works, right? And then you'd get this idea of the stuff from before coming through. I think it could work. I think this could work well. I think this would be a really wacky and cool zine. I think this will work even better if I tape these corners so that these pages stay together and these pages stay together, because when they're like right next to each other, the whole light shining through like works better. So I need tape. I mean, I could clip them for now, but do I have tape? I have staples. I have sewing tape. I have packing tape. 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 We got tape. We did it. We got it. Team, we have tape. This goes here, right? Keeps these guys nice and unified until death do them part. And then these two get taped together. Which I don't actually want to be taping these yet because, well, this is actually just the test, so it doesn't matter. And then the cool thing is you still have an inner unfold. I guess we can actually just tape all the corners. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is the test. We would tape the corners after. So now when we do our phone shenanigans, I think it works mildly better. I think you'd want like you'd almost want to tape like everything, like all the way up the edges to keep them really nice and flush. And then you could get you could almost tape it all. Just tape it all down. You just don't want to have like the bubble, right, where they're like spreading out, because that's going to stop like the effect from working. So maybe tape here, tape here. I think it's important to figure this out now if I'm trying to make a piece like this, because the whole thing would just end up being extremely involved, and I wouldn't want to like fuck it up at the end and not have it look nice, you know, at the end of the day. So I think the best outcome is taping them all together, because it's about keeping like all the sheets so the light isn't kind of diffusing in between the pages, right? Because then you're like losing light power. I don't know how science works. That's so cool though, how it shines through. That's actually like ghostly and spooky and rad. That's super rad. right? Like there's such a cool so many cool things that can be done with this. Really, really, really compelling. But we would want to tape the full edge, which I think is fine, because like I think taped edges on zines are kind of nice because it keeps it all from falling apart. If you tape the edges together like this, though, then you don't have you can't unfold the zine and get the back page, which lots of people like to do, where you'll have like this zine and then you'll open it up, and then on the, inside you'll have like a page size like poster or something, right? We would lose that. But I think that's okay, because this is already like two things in one. Okay, so now I don't need to do any holding it together, and I get the world and the scribbles coming through quite nicely, except that one has a bubble. I feel very precision crafted. Okay. So now the question is, like, what do I do? What do I do? Because there's... like, I've written poems before. I've written one poem before, which was pretty bad. Called... I don't even remember what it's called. I hated that poem so much. And I even put it on TikTok. Anyway, right, so it would basically need to be two poems, or two stories, or two... Well, okay, there are multiple ways to do this. One is to have a poem in the regular viewable thing, right, where you can see everything that's going on. And then behind it, you would have the things that poke through with the light that turn it into an entirely new poem, right? So you'd have one standalone poem, and then a second thing that maybe doesn't have to stand alone, because you're never going to be viewing this inside on its own, right? Because you're just not going to do that, because you'd have to take apart the whole zine. So then it would just need to be one poem that gets recontextualized in a new light. Maybe the poem would be called In a New Light, right? Or the zine would be called In a New Light, right? Maybe the title of the zine could be In a New, and then there's a little instruction to hold your phone, flashlight behind this, and then it shows you the rest of the title, and then the poem itself starts on the inside. Okay, so that's one option. Right? The other, as Nikki brilliantly said, is you could just have the poem and everything happening, and it could have these weird empty spaces, or these not weird empty spaces, but just like empty space. And then when you shine the light through, you could get like pictures that add context and like change the art in some way. It doesn't have to be necessarily text that's shining through when you shine the light. It could be other things, pictures, shapes, scribbles. And I mean, one way to do this, right? I think there are lots of ideas. One is like, there's like a mental health version of this probably, where you have like your surface thoughts, and then you have like the underlying intrusive thoughts poking through underneath when the light is shine, masking or whatever, right? Mental health kind of poem could work very well this way. You could have like memory, where you have like the past poking through into the present or something. I don't know if y'all have other ideas. You could have memory, you could have the past, you could have like dialogue, right? The it could be a love poem to someone, right? And then when you shine the light, the responses of that person are revealed, right? So you have this like dialogue. You could be talking to a ghost, talking to the past. It feels very ghostly, which is why I keep coming back to this with like the right white paper and the ink coming through. The ghost, right? And then like the ghost is responding to the things said. I want to try this, do another test, and see how the typewriter works. Because the typewriter might not be like bold enough or like big enough or dark enough to like really come through. In which case everything would kind of have to be like handwritten, which is okay. I just have to whip out those old nice handwriting calligraphy skills. Not necessarily in calligraphy, but just carefully penned. Open this back up. Is that all the way? This one's taped as well. What did I tape? I double taped it all. It's really just ripped the page. Super awesome. This feels weird. Okay, so we're gonna unfold this whole thing and get the typewriter back. Okay, so hello. We're gonna do it on this page, right? Which is going to be our bottom left. This one in both cases. And we'll put, this will be the top one, and we'll put half of it, and then this will be the bottom one, and we'll put half of it again. Typewriter. Oh! Typewriter is back. The the Coronaut Super 12 by Smith Corona. Coronavirus. Okay. So, top one. I can probably fold this in half just for... I guess I can just feed the whole zine into the typewriter, right? If it can take multiple pages. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Margin is... It's not super straight. Not super straight at all. Oh, and I have to do it right. If I feed it in this way, it's typing on this side. Hold up. Where am I trying to type? Here. Which means I have to put it in this way. Which maybe I did that before. I'm not sure. Oh, there. Okay. Zine is going back in the typewriter. Go straight this time. That is mildly better. Margin here and here. Okay, excellent. Okay. Margin is not in the right spot. Beautiful. What do we want to say? I don't know. This thing some words, some generic words. So then this will be there, and then the thing that's underneath it, we're gonna type on the bottom half of the page so that it shines through here and they're not overlapping. And then it's going to create something. We want to type on this side, which means we're going to go in this way. Looks pretty straight. This is okay. Good enough. Those line up well. Now we can refold it. Move the typewriter maybe. The kind of cool thing about doing these, right, these zines in this way, is if I did multiple of them, right, then people who got them from me would start to know the deal, and I wouldn't have to like explain within the zine every time that they have to shine their phone through it. And then, you know, they could just have a little like note in the corner of like, is an Imogen phone light zine, and then like no more explanation is necessarily needed. And I could just be the the phone flashlight zine person. If this folds nicely. Definitely the tricky part with like the reproducibility, I think, is getting everything to line up well. Okay. How does this work? Oh, guys. It's so good. It actually, and it's like it works well enough that you can definitely see it shining through, but you sort of have to move it around a little bit to like really make sure you can read it well, which I think makes it like the right level of interactive where it's not a pain, but it like works. But it's not a pain, but you have to like put in some effort to get the most out of it. Lots of scribbles on this side to see how the text looks with stuff behind it. Okay. Where'd the lid of my pen go? Oh well. Oh, need the light. It is, because of the layers, definitely still readable enough. Even with like dark stuff behind it. Maybe I can try like a Sharpie to like really make sure. Or just dark ink. I'm not going to do the whole fountain pen thing. I'll do a Sharpie. If I have a Sharpie, that would be really cool. like a giant Sharpie. I don't know if this one works well enough. It's not actually very dark, which sort of misses the point. You can even get super fancy and put empty spaces in sentences. Yeah, I had that thought, and I think that would be like super dope. At that point, it just has to be very precise with the whole like lining up well, which might be hard to like reproduce across multiple zines if I was like to photocopy it and print them out. But maybe it would be okay. Can we turn the flashlight on? Okay. So, even with a big dark smear of Sharpie, I can still read, this is the second part in which the text shines through the zine when light is held to it. And maybe y'all can too. Look at that. Isn't that so sick and awesome? That's so cool. That's crazy. I'm so stoked about this. I've never seen someone do this. I've never seen this. I'm sure people have done this, like just on written text. I've never seen poetry that does this. I've never seen a zine that does this. A zine's just a little book. Yeah. Oh, this is sick. So, I wonder if the best way to do it, well, the best way to do it would be to take the two sheets, right, and like map out exactly what I want where, with the poem, right? And then, and like do it all like this with two separate zines, and kind of sketch it all out. Because I think we want to be pretty precise with it if we're trying to like have words peek through. That would be really tricky, like making sure the typewriter is exactly in the right spot. Seems ripe with the possibility for fatal errors. I wonder if the better way to do this, right, is to take the bottom part that shines through and cut out each part and then like paste it to the back of this one, right? Or tape it to the back so that it's always going to be lined up well. And then when you go to shine the light, right, it's always... I mean, I don't know if it matters, right? I think the only question is like basically if I was trying to make a bunch of these, right? If I was trying to make 10 of these, which even sounds daunting, what would be the best way to make sure that they line up? I also just want to keep playing with this. This is like so sick. Turn back on flashlight. It's so cool. It's so cool. Like, genuinely so stoked. That's wild. There's like a right distance. I feel like being like 2 inches away, because further away it starts to fade. Too close and you get like you get this effect, which is kind of cool, of like seeing one word at a time. So the question now is what to put in it. Like what poem, what should I do? which is a whole other question. And I think I can maybe like do this on the back of this one. How does the zine order go? It goes cover here, page 1 and 2, page 3 and 4, three, 4, 5, 6, back cover, right? So I could hypothetically sketch out the whole poem just like this, right? And I could say, I could use, 2 different colors of pen and say, I want text here, and then I want these ones to shine through. And maybe that's how I'll write it, with 2 different colored pens. There's about to be a 3-minute break, and I think this is a good time to take a 3-minute break. It's a good time because Twitch says it is. But we'll try to work on this. We'll try to make this into something. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Hello. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome. We're doing zine things. We're doing zine things still. I have two colors of pens. One for the hypothetical text that will be shining through from behind, and one for the text that will be seen on the actual page. Right? This is the idea. I have like no clue where to start on this poem. Because I haven't actually been writing that much poetry lately. I feel like so genuinely uninspired to write. I wrote a short poem called From Behind that needs a bit more work, that's meant to be read forwards and backwards. Oh, it's in text chat. In like the Discord. In like I have to grab my iPad to look at the Discord. That kind of place. You can just you think the middle line, hold on, text chat, from behind, okay, oh, from behind, why am I walking? They are all going somewhere. It's amazing how seldom we look back. They won't tend to themselves. Why am I caring from behind? From behind, why am I caring? They won't tend to themselves. It's amazing how seldom we look back. They're all going somewhere. Why am I walking from behind? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So you would go, you'd be able to flip through the zine and go both ways. That's super dope. Right? So you'd have... Right, you'd be able to flip through the whole thing and then be like, go back the other way. It would be hard to like communicate that. Maybe it would be fine. It's cool. Oh, you know what'd be cool? It'd be cool to make an endlessly scrolling zine, right? Where like everything connects into the next thing, or like the cover and the back connect, so then like it, that'd be kind of neat. Like an endless narrative that can just repeat forever. Okay. That being said, poem. So even the title itself, right, should be something that I think has one meaning and then it has another meaning. And maybe just creating a title that does that, where it's a complete thing, and then when you add on another word, I mean, like there's like really like basic things, right? We can think about like having the title be I love you, right? I love you, and then like don't can shine through, right? Like, oh, look back. But see like, yes, right? But then like I would want there to be two titles. There's the title of the You're Not Shining Through poem, and then it needs to stand on its own. I want it to stand on its own, so if you don't do it, if you don't read it that way, you still get a poem. And then so it's like two poems in one. They get recontextualized. The issue is I'm bad at actually writing poetry on stream. Like, it doesn't usually happen. Something is very, like, blocked. This is a toughie. Yeah, and I've written a poem like this before that was like the two sides of my mind, and one was like the manic and one was like the depressed. Although really one was like the sane and one was crazy, and like the sane one was saying sane things, and then the crazy one would interject, and when it did, it changed the entire meaning of the sane one's words, right? I think I just need to start. I could take something like based on what I've already written. But I don't know if like it'd have to be short. I'm not sure I have anything that kind of works in that way. I don't know. I also think the zine should probably be on a patterned paper. I'm thinking, because I don't think too much in terms of like collage can be added on top, right? Because if you add like too many layers of collage, you're gonna start having things like not shining through with the light. It could also have like, I like to use like the compass and do like circles and like geometric drawing. So maybe it could just have like, it could be all white on black. Maybe there's something there of like one thing that's deeply like analytic, and then somehow there's like an artistic side shining through from underneath. That's like, you don't be crazy, like absolutely like kind of bonkers would be, I think it would be too much of a, no, it wouldn't. Okay, so you had like the cover, or you had like anything, right? And the top one had all these like geometric patterns and like doing all this like cool fancy interlocking like circle kind of straight edge lines, hexagons, whatever that could be, and anything like that. And then, right, when you shined the light through, this is really more artistically ambitious than my ability provides, right? But when you shine the light through of all these, circles and straight lines and sort of abstract geometric drawing, whatever is underneath like embellishes the form on top and like turns what is abstract into like actual sort of like things. Like you like a bunch of circles, and then like underneath there's like a rose drawn here, and it like turns this pattern into a bouquet of roses or whatever, right? That would be extremely ambitious because I'm not good at drawing. Right, that would be kind of painful. I have this one you can feel free to use. Plant your seeds, let them grow. Write me birds of paradise, your prose inking tourmaline skies, devouring a honey sun. Let words uncurl from absent stems. Plant your seeds, let them grow. See, the tricky thing, right, is it's like Supine breath held beneath your velvet touch. Like, you could... Like, I could either take that poem and, like, cut things out of it or, like, interject things into it, right? It's weird. This is, like, negative blackout poetry, right? It's like taking something that has already somewhat been blacked out and then, like, having a word poke through that unblacks it out in some capacity. I'm not sure I'm going to use that. I appreciate the offer. I find it difficult to use completed art in new things, I guess. I should just choose something to write about. I am I'm giving you permission to use it however you like. It's kind of the point of the poem anyway. I see. Let me look at it again. Plant your seeds. Your prose inking tourmaline skies, devouring the honey sun. Let words uncurl from absent stems, petals bending from a feral bloom. I like the title in some capacity, right? Like a title page, right? You know, plant your seeds, right? And then underneath, right, let them grow, right? Shining through when we do the light on this one. Like that's roughly the idea, right? So then there would be one poem that's plant your seeds, and then there would be one poem that is plant your seeds, let them grow, and one would be like an entire poem of, you know, the imagery of that beginning, and then one would be that further along in the story. Earlier on stream, right when we started, we were talking about what sunrises and sunsets. It could be, right, sunrise as the title, right, and then the poem is, and then the actual title, right, is sunrise sunset. Could you imagine putting wildflower seeds between the pages as well? That would be so cool. Yeah, maybe. Imagine doing like pressed flowers. That would be like bonkers. That would be like quite the piece. But you could, so sunrise, sunset, right? Plant your seeds, let them grow. You could also do a thing where, you know, you have something to imply a field, right, of like an empty field, and then when you shine the light, you have plants, right? So let them grow, and then the cover becomes very verdant and plant filled, or like a border of plants reveals itself, right? Something like that. It could be pretty dope. It could be like line down the middle. This is back to like thing here, sunrise, right? And then when you shine through, bam, sunset, right? That could be pretty sick. And then it could be this like reflection thing, right, across the middle. And then the light shining through is cool because it's like the sun and light. right? Sunrise, sunset. And then within, right, within the poem, you could have like words, 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 right? Right, right, right. And then other words, other words, other stuff, other stuff, other stuff, other stuff. and and they become like opposites of each other in that way. Just going based off at least that, you know, formatting for the title, right? Because that would be like setting up the whole reflection thing, and that's cool. And then I could just do very like simple straight line compass sunrise, you know, easy kind of cover in terms of the art. It's like simple black geometric, right? Do the compass with like a dip pen thing, because you can do that with these. I like that idea. I'm doing that one. So then the question is, what are these words? I've written enough poems about sunrises that I can probably do it again. I hate sunrises. Like, they're so a sunrise sunset as like a poetic thing. It's very used, right? It's very done. But right, I mean, the whole thing can be a metaphor. It can be like a life death thing. You know, it can always be an opposites attract love kind of thing. You know, distance those which can never meet. Something that is emerging versus something that is slipping away, as we were talking about earlier. In this case, it would be like two poems if they were reflected like this. Well, maybe it can just be single lines and then it can turn them into couplets, and they don't have to be reflected. The text, because it would be like annoying to read, basically. I don't want it to be annoying to read. So maybe the reflection is just a cover thing. The reflection would just be a cover thing. And then we'd have like words going on here. One thing I'm thinking of, like, how to write this poem is whether I would try to write the entire whole sunrise poem first and then put in the sunset interjections. But I think it makes more sense to plan out, do the sunrise, then the sunset, or to plan out the scope of the whole thing, which is totally not how I write. It's annoying. I often come up with these very cool, like, structures, and then I don't write in a way that's often, like, things that are planned out. But the sunrise would be like going from darkness into light, and then the sunset would be going from light into darkness, lightness into darkness. Which would be like, be right back grabbing dinner, sure. I use sun a lot, but apparently only I've used sunrise once, and it was in the line, "You cannot hang the sunrise in my eyes." That's pretty. Okay. So then it like completes the poem. Um It'd be crazy if the whole thing was like a giant palindrome where. How would you even do that? Maybe it doesn't have to be a palindrome. That sounds ambitious, but it could be like. Uh. Okay, so like one thing that I'm thinking would be to take this poem, right? And then you would have the poem describing the sunrise, beginning at the point of darkness, and then like emerging into light. And then you would get to the back of this poem, right? So then we would have light. And then if you shined the thing through, then you would see like the beginning of the darkness poem shining through the page with the light on the other side. And then it would kind of go all the way back to the beginning as light, and it would be like a whole parallel circular thing would be one way to approach like doing the zine. The other way would be, rather than having it like go circular and circle back to the beginning of itself, would just be to have like the darkness begin here and then have the poem go through, describe it into light, and then with the words shining from underneath, it's showing the same thing happening in reverse, which would maybe be better just for the sake of the poem. Yeah, I don't know. I also suck at writing. I think the reality I'm running into is that I still suck at writing poetry on stream. I can fold zines and I can come up with cool ideas and I can come up with crazy shit where the light shines through and doubles up poems and forms and whatever. But then I can't actually write a poem while live. I think it makes sense though to me to not be that I can't write a poem. Like I'm deeply incapable of doing so on stream. Because like poems are like so present and so expressive, and then like I don't think I can't often like write if there's someone else in proximity or there's anyone else in the room. It only like works when I'm like alone and not being attended to. I can create collages. I can create collage poems because I don't think collage poems are really like poems in the same way as I write poems. So I think we have to table the zine thing, I guess. If the zine is going to involve a poem, I could make an entirely separate zine of collage, and that would be totally functional, right? And that would work fine, and I'd do that. How long have I been live? 2 hours? 2 hours, not that long. Yeah. What should I do? What did I title my stream? Writing or collage or spoken word. Maybe I'll just end my stream. because I'm stuck on the art, and if the art is stuck and I'm not feeling art-y, then there's not very much reason to keep streaming, right? And no one's keeping me here. I don't care. Otherwise, I can sit and try to do spoken word. I don't know if I don't have a process for writing spoken word at all, which is why I put it in the stream, because I want to figure it out. Thus far, the process has been saying random words until I come to something, and then like improvising something, and then maybe narrowing that down later, or something, something. I can sew. I think I'm gonna end my stream. I think that's the plan. It's interesting to think about. Right, like I want to do more art and writing, creative things on stream beyond what I normally do. But then, like, I feel like what I'm trying to do is incorporating poetry with other things. Poetry and collage, poetry with music, more of my own poetry. But then, like, I actually struggle so much to write it on stream that it doesn't work. That's probably bad. It's probably bad. Genuinely just sitting here with a camera on my face now and a microphone on. Which do audio journals, except there's no camera on my face, and if I turn this way at least I can sort of pretend that there's no camera there, and then it's just me talking to myself and wallowing around in random thought, which is what I like to do most of the time anyway, and I think that's very valuable for the artistic process, my very autistic artistic process. So it's just, rambles is usually how art starts. I mean, it's like the occurrence of some unexpected and random event, the moment of inspiration, kind of just coming upon and appearing. I wonder if I can't write poetry on stream because like there's some feeling of having to like stream in a particular way because there's an audience, like exist in a certain way. Like it's fun, like it's interesting, right? Art is sort of created arguably like with the idea that there would be an audience, but I only create art well, or I only create art at all when there is no audience present, and somehow like the audience's presence like interferes with the creation of the art itself. I think that's why the idea of improvised poetry is maybe so compelling to me, because I for some reason can't write, I can't commit in front of people, but I can somehow like improvise words and try to like storytell and do that stuff. Like I can do D&D, that's creating art in front of people, but I can't do poetry in front of people. That's very strange. That's very strange indeed. Da da da. I'm just thinking. I like thinking. So what if I try free associating and just doing word association here? I wonder what would happen, right? If I just start putting words together and rambling about and ranting and making noises. I feel like that's always fun. When I've been doing it on my own, I've been doing it holding the microphone. There's something about holding the microphone that I like a lot more than having the microphone on the desk. It's very strange, but like holding the microphone, I don't know, I get to like cradle this thing in front of me, and I can control like how close or far away I am, which there is some, effect. If I'm talking loudly, I can move away, and if I'm talking quietly, I can come like much closer into the microphone, and that's helpful. I can also take it and I can walk around the room because I have enough cable, right? Like I could actually stand up right now and like leave frame, and if I have the mic, I can get a jacket because my room is cold because the AC is on too high, because my sibling always puts the AC on too high, and so I need to find something like warm even though it's like 80 degrees outside. This is the jacket I was looking for. It's on the ground. I feel like it's not entirely all that clean. Yeah, but maybe I can just like, I could totally like tip this way, right? And then I could pace around my room and I could just talk. And this could be stream. And the stream gets to see that for some reason I have 3 chairs and like 3 tables in my room. It's so cold. AC, that's crazy. And then I can just like yap and make noises. And word associate. Maybe I should change the title of my stream in that case to just like word associating and improvised spoken word, because that's what I'm gonna do, and see if it happens. And then I'm literally just gonna forget that chat exists and just start making words. And it's gonna be maybe beautiful and maybe entirely deranged. We'll see. Word association. Word association, just so people like come in and like wonder why I'm saying random words. Word association / improvised spoken word. Beautiful. Update title. Wow. Okay, I think the camera angle is nice, even though I want to forget about the camera. This is just so I can like pace and sort of, hopefully the microphone doesn't get caught on things. It kind of takes a minute to get into the word association feel, but I often do so with rhyming. Need somewhere to start to begin. The air conditioning just turned off. The air conditioning's always too cold. I'm feeling sold out by the world. Sold, told, rolled, old lang syne. Good old times, rhymes. That's right, we're rhyming, and not in time, not in verse, back, forth, over, backwards, even, over. Yesterday is gone. But I'm smiling toward a future. A sunrise that might come someday, some night, some wise, leftwise, rightwise, over the top. Time, tip, top, tap, tap, top, top, not words, noises. Noise, Lloyd, roid, moid. That's a incel term. Worm. I'm tripping over the cord. That's okay. It's all okay. It's all More or less or more. I'm not keeping score. I'm not keeping score. I'm not keeping score, but someone's keeping score. There's always a score being kept, and the body keeps the score. And I'm wondering, why do I keep feeling like I'm losing? Why do I feel like I'm losing something every time I take a step, every time I look forward, every time I stop going somewhere, that I start going nowhere, and I stop feeling anything anywhere, and I'm someone, walking into a chair because my eyes are closed and I'm pacing, and that's okay. It's okay to walk into a chair. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to fall. It's okay to fall on your face. They say as long as you get up. But why can't I just stay face down on the ground and kind of roll up and shrivel like a worm, like an like a term paper, a term limit. Things come to an end. They always close. There's always a summer after every spring. There's always something to cap it off. There's always something to say goodbye to. I've said goodbye to too many yous. I've been used by too many people and had to say goodbye to them. I'm too used to being used, and I'm too used to saying goodbye, and I'm too happy when I say goodbye, and I don't know why I smile when things end, but maybe it's because that's just what I know how to do, because I'm afraid of holding on, and I have to let go. There has to be an end. There has to be a term. There's got to be another word for it, that finality. There's got to be something more precise. For the feeling of smiling at relinquishing. But I don't have it. It's escaping me. Maybe it already left. Maybe it left the moment I started to be. And maybe I'll remember as I lay on my deathbed, and that word will slip out of my lips. It'll sound like, just like that. So perfectly silent, so perfectly over and out, so perfectly dead and gone, so perfectly non-idiomatic and non-wise. Left-wise, right-wise, sideways, wise, what, why, over. Those sort of things. Lots of direction here when we're talking about forward and back and losing and indirection, no direction, one direction. Harry Styles, stylist, hairstylist, split ends, split ends. It's all ends. It always ends. It comes back to ends and ends and ends. Feeling rent inside, torn open. Rent, not rent, but rent is another ends that we need a means to. Meal is another end we need a means to. Maybe we could all just make amends and stop taking and stop eating and stop pulling and pushing and shoving, and maybe just stand in a nice circle and breathe a little bit. Breathe a little bit. Breathe a little bit. I've broken pH meter and making noises. There's awesome to come back into. Yeah. A little bit back into out of the flow, but it's pretty easy to get back into once I get back into it, once I close my eyes and just let go. I don't know why I'm doing this or what's happening, but this is maybe the most vulnerable artistic experience I've ever had, and I don't know why, but maybe it's because I don't allow myself to express when I'm on the page, because the page is a refuge. It's something to stand in front and behind me, and I don't let it out, and that's okay. So we'll get there. We'll get better. Get better and better at hiding it until I can let go entirely without actually letting go and keeping a wall up inside. But I don't think that's how it works, and I think that's why this works so well. That's why it works so well. Wells. Jesse Wells is a musician, but I'm thinking more about Wells. I almost walked into a wall, but I sense the wall. It's interesting. Sense the wall. Sense. You can feel it well. You can hear from the bottom the echo. It's all around me. It's coming in circles. It's off the water. It's a Narcissan reflection. It's ego or some shit. The well. Symbol. Thimble. Sewing symbol. Thimble sewing. Imble. Nimble. Jackby. Nimble. Sticks. good sound. Tone, tones, tonal, tonality, 12-tone system, Schoenberg, Sila, the beautiful soul, the thing that keeps me attached to the art, and the way that I can't just let go. I can't just look at the end and be happy. I have to be afraid all the time, even though I know that I'm not supposed to be. And I think of Socrates and his beautiful end, his drinking, his smile, the way that everything came to a close. I don't feel comfortable in my own clothes still most of the time. Maybe I didn't know that's how I felt, but I guess that's honest. I guess that's what's happening when it's just open and flowing out, and I'm forgetting and remembering and everything, and I don't feel comfortable in my own clothes is what I was saying before I got tangent sidetrack over the I don't feel comfortable in my own clothes is I don't feel comfortable right now, and that's beautiful. I think they say that in all the beautiful religious texts to not be I don't feel comfortable in my own clothes right now, and I don't know what I'm supposed to wear. I don't know what I'm supposed to say or what to do or what to put on or how my hair should be or how anything is fair in this world or why anyone should have to be upheld to the standards that everyone keeps putting on them over and 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 over. And I don't feel comfortable in my clothes right now. I don't feel comfortable in my clothes right now. I don't think most people feel comfortable in their clothes. I think they're wearing plastic bags. I think they're wearing something that's shepherding them off to their death, as temporary as they are, but it'll probably break down slower than their own bones. Wearing pollution, wearing a solution of everything wrong with what was and is, wearing a dissolution of all the modern society, the everything crashing down, pits and dark and indecision and inimitable, indivisible. It did. The past, passed away. I will be passed away. I will at some point in my life become past. I will be a was. All the things I do are always becoming dids. Isn't that strange? It's just motion. It's just that every step forward is leaving a step that was once back. That's variation on a theme. That's variation on doing the same. That's changing for once. That's an original thought. Maybe not. There isn't probably not anything, but at least now I can say that I've done something in this moment. I've created a moment. I don't have to create a moment. I can just be, but when I speak, I tip the scale. I change the direction. I alter the motion. I return to the before. I circle back. It's looking into the well. It's the circles. It's the reflection. It's the return. It's the drawing up something to be drank from, because the mind is an endless well when you just let it open, when you just let it pour forth. There's no drying up. There's no anything but when you cover it. And when you uncover it, everything returns, everything flows. When you dam the river, it'll stop for a time and it'll break through, because it's not going to be stopped. It's not going to be plugged. It's not plug in, plug out. It's electric current always ready to be tapped if you just plug in, if you just plug in. But too many plugged in wrong things, phones, you know. Plug out, plug in, plug out to plug in, out, plug. Oh, right. Microphone. Plugged in, plugged out, plug, slug. I like slugs. I don't think slugs have existential thoughts. I don't think slugs contemplate their own mortality. I think banana slugs they look like bananas, but they don't know they look like bananas. They just have a name that they don't understand, like me. I have a name that I chose, and I don't think I still understand it. I think I know that I don't still think I know I understand it. I'm not sure what Imogen. It's an image of a past. It's a return. It's a person from a play I haven't read. It's a person of music that I don't listen to. It's an author. It's a poet. It's a someone. It's a someone else. It's a me, but it's not. It's an image within an image. It's over and over. It's a circle. It's a well. It's everything plunging downward. It's me. It's me. It's me. And it's plunging downward. It's opening up. It's becoming something new. It's nothing at all. It's everything in a nutshell. It's everything outside. It's cracked open. It's a forbidden fruit. It is the thing that I taste. It is salty. It is life. It is water. It is the bottom of a well. It's the thing that keeps being circled upon, and yet it is nothing. It's attached. It's plugged onto me. It's pushing its current in. It's digging its claws into my consciousness. It's making me something I'm not. I bleed out in language. I bleed out in names, in letters. I'm always bleeding until I'm speaking. I'm always still until in motion I'm an object. ... Laws keep us still. Laws keep us still. Laws keep us still. Laws don't let me go to a park and put a hammock on a tree. Fuck that. ICE, laws, Iran, Palestine, It's horrible, it's horrible. Always plugged in, always plugged in, always plugged in, have to circle back, always plugged in. Let me out. Let me talk about a flower. A beautiful little dainty thing, so I can just let go of like the pain of all of it. But then I talk about the flower, and I think the flower looks like the blood of a child, of a hand who's not and isn't and broken and dust, and it's all wrong, and it's a flower, it's just a flower, it's just a flower. It's just a flower, and a bee lands on it. A bee, a stinger, of course, it's gonna hurt. Flower. It's just a flower. Just let it be a flower. Just let it have delicate petals that will live forever. But I don't want to live forever, but that means it's gonna die, and that means it's me, and it's just a flower. It's just a flower. And isn't that the most beautiful thing in the world? That it can be. With its purple fading to white petals, bright yellow insides, organs, stamen, pollen, something emerging, the moment of next life, the future in the middle of all that is extending outward, the beautiful head atop the dainty body, atop the razor-thin stem, leaves sprawled out, splayed, displaying itself to the world, displaying itself to the great sun above, a little Icarus. And it will fall.
It grows, and it doesn't even get to know that it will die someday. It doesn't get to know that it will return to the ground, and its seeds will go on, its millions of children, and it will fertilize the next thing, and the next thing, and it's part of the circle. It's going to be at the bottom of the well someday, and I'll drink it in the water, and I'll spit it back out as words, and it will be beautiful, as dainty and small and perfect as it once was, though it once came from the other side of the world. And just once, for half a moment in a cosmic opera, was alive. It was a tone. It was a not a quarter note, hardly. It was a 16th, a 32nd. It was staccato. It was the smallest. Played at pianissimo in a field of everything else, a perfect melody, a symphony of everything. One string on the bow of a violin. One string that, as they all do, it eventually snaps, and the strings will break, and the body will crack, even the most prized. The Stradivarius will return to the earth. It will rot like me. It might live longer. To think that a violin has lived longer than me. Maybe I'll create a violin someday. Maybe I'll create something to be remembered, to be put into a museum, to be held forever, to be treasured, to be cherished. Maybe I can be in life, and I'll go on in memory, and the things I say will be carved into stone and sent off on golden records into the depths of space. But I don't need to. I'm a flower. I'm a flower, and I'm okay, but maybe someone will draw that flower. Maybe someone will capture it in time and space. Someone will press its petals. Maybe someone will press their lips against mine, and for a moment everything will fade into eternity. Maybe. Maybe, but probably not. I don't know. I don't know how love works. I'm still getting there. I'm trying, guys. And I'm not going to tell you I love you for at least 5 years. Not that that's a strict rule, but I just don't know you that well, and I don't even know the you that I'm talking about. I mean, I'm talking to a you that I've never met and don't even know the name of. And I love you. I will. I might, if you exist, if you come to be, if you hang out with me, and if we talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and listen and maybe become one when our hands for just a moment are melding into each other, and hands interlocking like roots of two different flowers becoming one organism, and then we will die together, and we will live together, and that means we will die together, and our petals will fall, and we'll fertilize the same plants, and we'll bear the same fruits, and we'll go on into endless generations of perfect nothing, and we'll be buried next to each other and dissolve, and a great tree will grow from our bones. Our bones will be long gone, long before the Stradivarius, and it will still be sitting there playing its song, and we will be playing ours. It will play out in the rustling of the leaves above our children, above their children's children, and they will laugh, and it will be the greatest song, and it won't be in a museum. It'll be in a moment. We'll be gone in a moment. I'll be there in a moment. You'll be here in a moment. We'll have our moment. It's all a moment. It's all a single hair on the bowstring, a single flare, a single flourish, a single firework, little light off of it. There's a lot, like it's one little corner of the firework. We're gonna be me and you, one corner of a firework, and it's gonna be in your eyes when you smile, and it's gonna be in my heart when it beats, and it's go through all my blood down to the capillaries, and it'll be warm. Somewhere, sometime, somehow, somewhat, what? Where are we? On a planet, in a room, on a screen, on a screen, on a screen. It's a planet on a screen. The planet's on a screen. We're looking through screen. I'm fucking screaming. I can't really scream. I don't want to scream. That's a filter. There's filters. I can filter and filter without having all the filters on the filters. I guess that's filters. Screens. Screens in between me and the future, between me and the past, between everything and everyone, and it's somehow connecting and somehow drives us so far apart, and and that's just how it be. That's just the miracle of technology. That's just the algorithmic overload of my own brain crushing me down into the pulp that is a series of numbers. I am a series of preferences. I am a series of preferences. I am a series of metadata. I'm something to be mined. I am an object. I am a resource. I am a stone. I hope I'm difficult to mine, if anything. I hope I'm confusing and mysterious, and they're looking at this like, what the fuck is that thing doing right now? And how do we mine that for data? And you can't because my eyes are closed. Got him. I can't because my eyes are closed. You can't because I can't hear you. You can't because I'm entirely in the moment because I'm a flower and you're a Stradivarius violin, and you have to understand that those things are entirely different. We occupy different worlds, and it's not an ego thing. I left that at the bottom of the well. It's all flowing. It's all gone, and the past is the moment that we walk into every time we take a step forward as it gets left behind. Right? I think I misquoted myself there. I think I misspoke there. I think I misspoke there. I think you might have just found a bit of your block and just excised a bit. I excised a little bit. I'm excising things here. I'm cutting things out of myself. People say it's bleeding on stage when you do slam poetry, but this honestly just feels more like freeing on stage. That's so stupid. I'm like a bird with feathers. I'm like flying about, fluttering between, and it just doesn't make any sense, but it's so beautiful. And I probably look crazy. I mean, that's sort of the point, but this is entirely sane. It's entirely excised. Love that word, excise. I've been using that word a lot. Excise, not exercise, not exercise, not exorcise, exorcist, exercise, running, exercise, but excise, and not extra size or XL size or XXL size or in size, or it's excise and excise, in size, in and out, in size to cut, excise to cut out, size, big, very poetic, big, small, big, small. Words have tones, tones of staccato bowstrings, tones of symphonies, of tomes, of tome, of tone, of tum, of ta, of toe, of toe. Time. Time is that, like, fickle thing. Time is that thing that tickles the back of your mind and reminds you that there's something you should be doing right now. But time's up, time out, time over, time, that's not time. Stop time. Great technique. But no start time. But there is a start time for other things, a start time. There is a departure time. Adventure time. Unseen, can't see, not seen, no, never, haven't. One episode, maybe, should watch. It's on the list. Time. Adventure. Adventure's a beautiful thing until it's not, because I think a lot of adventures are like killing people. A lot of adventures are killing people. D&D. I stopped playing D&D because it's too much killing people. Killing, sword, die, game of death, game of life, game. Why are we gamifying? Why are we quantifying? Why am I a series of preferences that are data mined? We're back. We're back. I'm a diamond sword. I'm a diamond. I'm a diamond, baby. I'm trying. I'm not. I'm just like a rock, I think. I'm just smoothed by the river. I'm just smoothed by the well. I'm a brick in a well, a brick in the wall, another brick in the wall. We don't need no education. Do we need education? It seems that now we need education more than ever. They say. But we do. And I think education is a beautiful thing. It brings us, it teaches people. Fuck. Education is a beautiful thing. It teaches people things. God. So stupid. So stupid. What a beautiful compliment to be given. What a beautiful, from a beautiful person. Beautiful people calling beautiful people stupid. Yeah, that's the one. Definitely a diamond. I know, way out, way up. It's all up. It's all up from here. It's stocks. It's over. Why do things keep going up? Why do things keep going up? Why do they have to go up? Why does it have to be up? Why can't it be right here? Do I have to strive for the sun? Do I have to plummet down? Do I have to launch to the moon and name a bright spot after a fallen friend? Do I have to? Do I have to make the best of this moment? Do I have to take the rest of my time not in vain? Do I have to speak of gods not vainly? Do I have to drink every bit of blood in my own veins to become something higher and holier? Do I have to drink his? Do I have to pour one out all the time? Can't I just sit still? Until I get nudged, because an object in motion is not an object in motion once it's given an external force, and there's all this externality around me, all this flashing sign, all this hyper reality, all this overconsumptive frailty, and I feel so railed in the ass by capitalism. I feel so overstimulated and passed over and taken by surprise by every light, by every stop, by every red, green, go, yes, no, over, out. I feel nothing now. And then, still, it returns, and still it's contextualized, and still it is understood, in still it is brought back, in still, in now it is returned, it is turned over, it is regurgitated. Doesn't have to be new. I can feed you with the old. I can feed myself with the blood in my own veins, which I used as a metaphor for the other thing earlier, which doesn't work, but vampires or something, man. Yeah. Yeah, techno capital Peter Thiel vampires. There's a poem there, probably. Not one I want to do right now.
I think I reached the limit. I think I snapped out of it. How long was I doing that for? Half an hour? I don't know. It ended. It happens for some time, and then it stops, and then you're no longer free associating, and no longer word associating, and no longer making poetic things. Oh, there's timestamps on the restream chat. Um, this is also something to come back to. That was half an hour ago. Yeah, I've been doing it. Did that for over half an hour. That is the most like, I did that twice today already for in like half hour chunks. Maybe that's my limit, is that it goes for like half an hour. I feel so like light after doing that. After being like genuinely deranged on the internet. I didn't do it on the internet before, but apparently I can. And be a little freak. Make noises. Make mouth sounds. There's like poetry in there, right? There are beautiful things to be maybe like written down. I don't know if I want to. Like, I love the free association. I love the thing because it's so temporal, and I get out of it and I almost remember nothing I said in that, like in some capacity, because it's so present. I think it'd be really interesting to like layer on the filters to the certain point where it's like more strictly poetic, and try to like somehow like channel that into live performance, right? I don't know how I would do that. I don't know but it'd be certainly interesting. And that's obviously like a step freer than improvised poetry, because sometimes I'm just going like bop 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 bop, or whatever. I certainly felt voyeuristic, but I couldn't stop listening. Yeah, I came across this by chance a few minutes ago. Really cool. Miles, it's my first time ever doing that on stream. I think it's very fun. I think it's a fun thing to practice. I think like anyone can do that. You just have to like get over yourself, and like like all I'm doing there, like there was no intention. It's just like whatever words were coming into my brain got spat back out the other side of my mouth. And I'm a poet, so I have lots of words that are maybe sometimes beautiful. I think the whole flower Stradivarius violin thing was very gorgeous. Maybe said Stradivarius like 6 too many times, but for it to be like a viable poem. But yeah, it's to me it's almost like the fundamental, like, I don't know, it's so fundamentally creative. I was crying at a part of that, or at least tearing up, right? So maybe I'll do that on stream more, because that was very fun. It was very strange. It took me a bit to like get into it, and then it really like kicked in, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I cared, that would be like unbelievably embarrassing, right? I think I said like, what did I say? Railed in the ass by capitalism. I just like said that at some point, like live on the internet for whoever was watching. But like, it doesn't matter, you know? It's like art or something, allegedly. So so yeah. That was really neat. I think it'd be funny if sometimes I just randomly go live. So I've done this 3 times today. Like this morning, I sat and word associated for half an hour, and that was my first time doing it for like an extended period. And then I did it again in the middle of the day because I liked it so much. And then I did it here on stream because I'm like, why not? I had the thought that it would be cool to try on stream. And I feel like I feel like it'd be funny if I just like anytime during the day I was just like, I want to word associate today. And I just like turned on stream for half an hour and like ranted. I mean, why not, right? At least then it saves it, right? It's like a recording. I could go back, and if there is poetry in there to turn into poems, it could be something, you know. I wonder if I'll get to, if I'll like build up tolerance, like if I'll be able to do it for longer amounts of time if I keep doing it, right? Because like pretty much today it was half an hour each time I did it, but it would be crazy to like disappear for 6 hours. And by disappear, I mean that while I am doing that, while I am word associating, like there's nothing. There is like sometimes I like sardonically or like kind of sarcastically laugh at myself or like look at chat, but at some points, like I think during the flower thing, I think during one of like the death parts, like I'm just like in the words entirely, and like it didn't feel like it didn't feel like half an hour, but it felt like more than half an hour, but it felt like an instant. I don't know. Very, very hard to explain that, how the mind is working when I'm just like free associating with words, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. That's very cool. Maybe I should do another one. It's like so unbelievably fun. Like it's so cool to just like word associate. But it's, I mean, like when I was laughing at myself during edit, I was laughing because it was just so genuinely funny. And I'm like, yeah, it's like emotions and shit. And maybe I'll word associate more. Gotta take this off. How far was I pacing out of frame? I feel like I was like starting back here. Oh, so I was definitely leaving frame and coming back. So maybe I'll like, there we go. That's the whole room. I can be anywhere. And the people will still, the people of America, my fellow Americans, American dream, stream life, not life, surreal. It's not the same. It's something in between. I want to come back to the screen thing. I didn't engage with the whole screen thing. Maybe it's screen, eat. Eat. That sounded kind of like eating. Wrote a poem about eating the way the bird eats. I don't eat the same way that the bird eats. The bird flutters and fucking regurgitates into its children's mouths, and I don't eat the same way that the tree eats, sucking things up from below, slowly reaching out, returning, constantly symbiotic, ever-changing, unnoticeable growth. I eat like me. I eat like something that does too much than too little, that doesn't quite know what balance means. I don't eat like a bear catching a salmon out of the air. Shitty rhyme. I eat like me with a plate and a fork, even though I have these two beautiful hands and these teeth that could do all the work for me. I don't eat like other people
I eat like I'm afraid. And then I eat like I can't stop myself. Doesn't work. I don't want to eat anymore, really. I just want it always to be the same so I never have to worry about too much or too little. I don't want to have to be afraid I won't nourish myself. I don't want to be afraid anymore. No. I don't want to be afraid of food or clothes or people. I don't want to be afraid of people, yet I have too many memories of standing in front of you and you looking at me in a way that is not right, and I don't want to be afraid, but now it takes me so long to say hello. It takes me so long to open up a little bit, and maybe the screen is what's working for me here. Maybe it's the veneer, maybe it's the in-between, maybe it's the strange Venetian glow of a ceiling that looks like a sky, maybe it's a fake gondolier on the Las Vegas Strip, and the sound of slot machines, and the sound of slaps, and the sound of overflowing nothingness, and the sound of complaints on what should be beautiful, and the sound of paint that's covering so much pain, and the sound of everything that's nothing, and the sound of nothing that is everything, and the sound of light that is fake, and the sound of light that is not being allowed in, and the sound, it sounds so empty. An empty stomach waiting impatiently to be filled. An empty stomach that has nothing to fill it. An empty stomach that doesn't know it will never be filled. An empty stomach that is hungry no matter how much it eats. An empty stomach that is more like I don't know, an empty stomach. Something that doesn't realize it doesn't need to be filled. That doesn't need to be guilt. That doesn't need to have guilt over gold. That doesn't need to have guilt over putting something inside. That doesn't need to have guilt over taking other things out. That doesn't need to believe in anything. It doesn't need to have a future. It doesn't need to be owed. It doesn't need to gamble on a potential. It doesn't need to eat. I wish I didn't eat. I wish I ate like me. I wish I was empty. I wish nothing had flavor. I wish it filled me. I wish to stop wanting to be full. I wish to stop wishing. I wish for all the stars to leave the sky so I stop casting nothing out to them. I wish for all the stars to fall out of the sky so all of this can stop. I wish for all the stars to be happy as I am. I wish for Orion to be less alone up there. I wish he wasn't throwing a spear all the time. I wish he held a beautiful man in his arms. I wish he was happy. I wish I was full. I wish he was happy. I wish I was full. I wish I had a spear and I could put it down and never use it again. Put it in a museum with the violin. I wish I could have empty hands that could always be filled and never were. I wish they could be open. I wish my mouth could always be open and putting something out and taking in and balance and a flow and a river and a cycle and a water and evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and runoff. I'm done wishing. We're done wishing. I wish to stop wishing. That wish has been fulfilled. We're done wishing. The salt is left on my skin as the water evaporates, leaving a thin crust around my eyes. I bring my finger up to it, wipe it off, and taste that flavor. No substance, yet so strong, as if it could quench my thirst all on its own, but it knows that it will kill me, that it will clog my kidneys. It knows that it will make me nothing. It knows that if I were to keep tasting, I would stop living. It knows. So it sits there, and I try not to taste anymore. I try to keep sweating it out. I try to let it go. And I'm letting it go. Snow, it's funny, frozen. I'm letting it go. Overflowing all the words that haven't been said for hundreds of years of my 20-year-long life. 22. All the years of my 22-year-long life, 100,000 years in a body. It's all overflowing. I am the river. I am the stars. I am the sky crying into an ocean. I am an indistinguishable horizon between reflected grays. I am Narcissus and himself kissing in the pool. I am the moment in between. I am the feeling that they both have. I am turning over. Letting go, pouring out, returning, going back, retracing the footsteps into the past, spinning around, tripping over my own memories. I am not there yet. But there's no there to be at. There's nowhere that I'm going. There's no here yet. It's a relative position. It's an infinitely small point, not quite. We can go smaller because everything can be divided. There's no infinitely small. There's just another way to cut myself in half. There's just another way to eat a little less, to cut another calorie. There's just another way to be happier. There's just another way to do more, to sleep better, to wake up at 6 a.m., to pour the emotions out, to express it all, to eat more, to eat less, to eat more, to eat less, healthy, less bad, more healthy, less bad, more fat, less carbs, more protein, less something. I don't fucking know, but there's always something. And then there's more money, and there's less waste, and there's more together, and there's less apart, and there's less screen, and more sun, and there's something else. There's something itching at me. Maybe it's the fact that there is no nothing. There is no this, that. There is all nothing. There is just the point between. There is the lips contacting on the water. There is the horizon line between the things that are the same. There are her eyes. There are her eyes on me. There are the same pun over and over again. There's wordplay. There's interplay. There's nothing. There's everything. There's a game that we're playing, and we're all playing, and we're all really playing, and we're all just enjoying it, and we're not thinking about the fact that we're going to die someday, because this is Foursquare, and the only thing we have to worry about is being put out of the box. And then when did we stop thinking outside of the box? When did the game never end? When did we start realizing that we were hitting a ball back and forth, and eventually it would deflate, and eventually we would collapse, and eventually we'd become puddles of flesh on the pavement. Eventually we'd melt in the summer sun. Eventually 120 degrees would be too much for our frail bodies. We're playing a game. That never ends until it does. So while I'm here, I think I'll step out of the box. I don't think I'll return. I think I'll make the rules. And I think I can break rules when I'm dancing. I think I can break rules when I'm speaking. I think I can break rules when I'm sitting and sleeping. I think I can break rules when I'm eating. I think I can break all the rules. I think I can be the stars. And I think I can tell Orion that I love him. And I think I can be nothing. and alive. I think I can be a fly on the wall. I think I can be a mayfly. I think I can die today. I think I can die tomorrow. I think I can live forever. I think I can be immortalized. I think I can be a pressed flower, a preserved specimen. I think I can taxidermy myself into the future and still be present. I think I can think, but I don't know. I don't know that I know, and that means I don't know that I think, and I don't think that I think anything, and I can't be anything, but it doesn't mean I can't, because I don't know that I can't, and I think I don't know what think does not is eh. Why words? Why not fundamental sounds? Why not Why not be the sound of a ball striking a hand? Why not be the sound of a hand striking a hand? Why not be the sound of a hand gently caressing another? Why not be the flavor of the greatest meal you've ever eaten? Why not be the taste of home away from home? Why not be the salted tomato off the vine in the backyard? Why not be the raspberry jam? If I can be the stars, I can be that. If I can be more, I can be less. If I can look at a screen, I can look at the smallest thing. I can look at a fly. I can see its hundredfold eyes looking back at me, and I can be it for a moment. If I can become other people, if I can engage in empathy, if I can engage in poetry, if I can keep the rage away but present. If I cannot keep others, if I cannot keep going, then I will keep going. If I cannot keep others, then I will not keep others. If I cannot keep up, then I will not keep up. If I cannot keep others, then I will not keep others. If I can't look, then I will not look. I'll stop. I'll turn off the screen. I mean it this time. I will. I'll turn it off. I'll look away. I'll do something else. I'll stop crying at Technicolor. I'll stop being mesmerized by a sky of glimmering lights. I'll stop putting quarters in the slot machine. I'll start doing it right. I'll start eating the right amount. It'll be perfect and balanced and breakfast and everything. All the time. Won't you? I don't think you will. I don't think you're getting better. I think you are. I think you're trying. I see that you're trying, and I know it's hard, and I know there's so much weight pushing down on your shoulders, and I know. And it hurts me. It hurts me to see me grow away from you. It hurts you to see me go away from you. That was a fucking bar right there. That one was a fucking bar. That one was a fucking bar. It hurts me to see me grow away from you. It hurts you to see me go away from you. Oh, fucking crazy, that one. Oh, anyway, go away from you. Go away. Get out. Get out. Someone's calling me? I wonder if, like... Guys, we're getting a phone call. Hello? Oh, nothing. Spam caller. Why'd you call me again? What are you doing? Hello? Hello? No. Okay, guys, that was crazy. The phone called me, right? Random number. Random number calls me, right? Nothing. And it hangs up, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever, like spam call. It calls me again. I call it. I say hello, hello, hello. Phone just says in an automated voice, goodbye, and it hangs up on me. That was crazy. That's I don't know what that was. That was kind of wild. Um, maybe it's your taxidermied future self. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's something painted in the stars in astrological space racism. Maybe it's a something. Maybe it's a something. Maybe Mark Mercury is in retrograde right now, and that's why I'm speaking free association to the world, and my phone is ringing, and I've been keeping it on silent. I've been keeping my phone on silent. Go away. Go away. Go away. Get the screen out of me. Get the vibration out of my head. Stop thrumming. Stop thrumming. Stop throbbing. Stop anything. Just stop. Just slow down. Just let me be you, not up. Dropping things. Hit the candle off the table. Maybe the eyes closed isn't always the best idea in like a room with like breakable things inside of it. But the eyes closed really helps. It's like everything is gone and then it's just my words, and it can exist forever, and it can just be the feeling inside of my own mouth as if that's my entire being. Air. Being. I am with you. Present. You keep coming up in this poem, and it's that human desire for connection and contact that I don't have in the digital age that I've been deprived, and because I'm the middle child and didn't get hugged enough as a kid or something, or because I'm just autistic and didn't like hugs. I thought I didn't like hugs because they scared me. And what else? What are the other like autistic things? That one of my toes, my second toe is longer than my big toe, and that's like a sign of autism or something. But also the eye contact, also the crying and following instructions so precisely that it made me like do things wrong. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We already covered that one. I don't know. We've started to like run through like vast swaths of the vocabulary where I feel like words keep coming up, and it's kind of crazy. Like, we have so many words. We have so many words. We have so many things to say. Why do we always have to be saying something? Why are you always saying something? Why are you on a microphone saying something in front of people? Like, that's crazy. I think this free association is over. I think this one ran out. Oh, so fun. Beautiful, I think. But fun. Yeah, the phone call killed it. I was in like the phone call messed it up. It's okay. Guess I have to silent my phone. Tell it to go away. I got a text. There's food. Oh, there's dinner. Wow. Awesome. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'll definitely channeling your inner confessional poet there. I mean, some of it was confessional and some of it wasn't, right? Like, it just kind of good. I mean, it's very confessional because it's just like out of the chest, like whatever's on my mind. It's stream of consciousness, very much. There's some confession, right? But there's also some like, there's all the nature stuff. I was talking about flowers, and I mean, the flowers came back to me, and I don't know. The whole eating thing, probably confessional, yeah. Yeah, I think that's all for stream. Thank you for this. It was really beautiful. I someone sent a message in YouTube earlier.
said, bro, it's only me and you right now. Time out. What's going on? If that person's still here, I was doing word association and just saying whatever was on my mind and kind of turning it into something akin to poetry, which obviously the title on YouTube didn't update, but the one on Twitch did, so that's why. But I'll probably get the itch to do this again because it's very enjoyable. Yeah. Anyway, like cut. That's a wrap. I guess I could raid on Twitch. I don't want to raid. I'm gonna go eat dinner. I usually like to hang around in their streams if I raid. You enjoyed it. Cool. Cool. I feel like I want to like watch back and see how it looked on camera and whether I should change things about it. But yeah, thank you all for tuning into this sort of strange stream. And yeah, I think I'll be doing more of that soon. And I guess Saturday it will be our regularly scheduled poetry analysis stream. Nope, Saturday stream is canceled because I'm volunteering. So no stream on Saturday. There will be a stream on Monday for poetry analysis of chat. For those who are new around these parts, I normally analyze people's poems and like they send them to me and I read them. My normal shtick. This was not the normal shtick. But it's very possible that there is an impromptu me just turning on Twitch at some point in the next few days before the next stream and just doing this because I like it and I think it's cool to share it because I think people should do it. It's really fun. It's really freeing. Like genuinely, like just try it. Like word associate. It's dope. I say things that I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? I stick around for poetry analysis. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. That happens on Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, at noon Pacific time. So 6 hours and 50 minutes ago, in your time. Yeah. Anyway, that's actually the end of stream. Enough yapping. I've been Imogen. Thank you for following, Miles. Thank you for anyone who came in. Poetry in the future, maybe, probably more word association. And keep making art you love. Bow.